Are you telling me Barack Obama didn't know what was
Mark,
going on in 6 agencies?
As you go on, how are you? Okay, keep going.
I'm not done. I need to make the case because the media seems to be confused about their own reporting. New York Times, another well-known liberal outlet, intercepted Russian communications, part of inquiry into Trump associates, January 19. The FBI is leading the investigations, aided by the NSA, the CIA, Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Unit. The investigators have accelerated their efforts in recent weeks, but have found no conclusive evidence of wrongdoing. Listen to this. One official said intelligence reports based on some of the wiretap communications have been provided to the White House. This is the New York Times,
another right-wing outlet.
4.
Another right-wing outlet,
Let's continue. New York Times again. NSA gets more latitude to share intercepted communications. In the final days of the Obama administration, the administration has expanded the power of the NSA to share globally intercepted personal communications with the government's 16 other intelligence agencies before applying privacy protections. Now, why would they do this on the way out the door? Well, March 1, Exhibit 6, Obama administration rushed to preserve intelligence of Russian election hacking. In the Obama administration's last days, listen to this, some White House officials scrambled to spread information about Russian efforts to undermine the presidential election and about possible contacts between associates of President-elect Trump and Russians across the government. I'm not done. Exhibit 7, New York Times. Flynn is said to have talked to Russians about sanctions Trump took office. Well, where'd they get this information? Well, Mark, you know, the FISA court, they're always monitoring the Russian ambassador and so. How do we know that? Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but there's an awful lot of other activity.
Sure.
Here we have Washington Post, one more, Washington Post, March 2nd. U.S. investigators have examined contacts Attorney General Sessions had with Russian officials during the time he was advising Donald Trump's campaign. The focus of the U.S. counterintelligence investigation has been on communication between Trump campaign officials and Russia. Listen to this. The inquiry involving Sessions is examining his contacts while serving as Trump's foreign policy advisor in the spring and summer of 2016. This has been going on for a year.
Well, Mark,
now,
as you do on your radio program, you lay out a devastating case based on public documents, as you point out, and not right-wing sources, but mainstream left-stream sources.
We weren't done. Then I was asked to go on the Hannity show, which we did because I wanted to make the point. I believe that was the next day, on March 6th, on why Obama may have been spying on Trump. Go.
Now, you asked a question. You said, what did Obama know? We know he knows this much. Everything you just read, he knew, because it's in the newspapers.
Let's stop. So everything I read on Fox and Friends, and everything, this is a clip of the appearance on Hannity, and everything I told him, which underscored the points I made the day before on Fox, Obama knew all of it. He knew all of it because it was in the media. You notice how silent he is? Susan Rice knows stuff that's going on. Comey knows stuff that's going on. Brennan knows stuff that's going on. Clapper knows stuff that's going on. This is the Obama administration. The Obama administration. And Obama knows what's going on. Obama knows what's going on. Have you noticed in the last 3 or 4 months, nobody asks about Obama? What did Obama know and when did he know it? And yet he's the kingmaker here. Understand what I'm showing you. Understand what we're discussing here. The Obama administration used national security agencies and federal law enforcement agencies to try and influence the election. The evidence is in our face. It's all over the place. While they're chasing collusion with Russia and they have a special counsel because the Republicans on the Hill are buffoonish. There should be a special counsel, all right, investigating the Obama administration. What the president knew, or what he didn't know. What top officials in the administration knew and what they didn't know. Because this is the true scandal, and it is a scandal of scandals. Go.
That's pretty big. Number 2, we know that if a FISA warrant was secured, it's very likely in his daily intelligence briefing or a call from the Attorney General or the Director of the FBI, the President would be given a heads up.
Let's stop. See, at the time, we didn't know for sure, other than a few reports stating that a FISA warrant had been issued in October. And I didn't know for sure, but I felt it had to have been, based on my own experience as a Chief of Staff to an Attorney General. Turns out one was issued. Now, I don't have time tonight to do this, but Brian Stetler, that's his name, right? Stetler over at CNN, whatever his name is, the little fat doughboy. Anyway, he and I went at it. He said, you don't know if there was a FISA warrant. I said, why don't you look into it? Well, we have looked into it. We can't confirm it. They didn't look into anything. That's CNN. CNN, the Comey News Network. So anyway, turns out there was. Go ahead.
Nothing illegal about it, but he'd be given a heads up. Here's what else we know.
And let me point out, I meant to mention, as I said there, the President gets a daily intelligence briefing. It amazes me to this day that members of Congress, whether the House or Senate Intelligence Committees or House and Senate Judiciary Committees, have not asked to see his daily intelligence briefings to see exactly what Obama was briefed formally, let alone informally, by his advisors, but formally. If this was a counterintelligence investigation, he would have known about it. If there was a FISA court warrant issued, he likely would have known about it. So what's in these daily intelligence briefings? Nobody asks but me. Anyway, go ahead.
There's all kinds of, based on these reports, investigative activities going on. You know, McClatchy reported the agencies involved, the FBI, CIA, National Security Agency, Justice Department, Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. I assume Obama knew something. I mean, unless he's Helen Keller. Now, let me make another point about this. That's a hell of a lot of agency resources. Those are a hell of a lot of investigators. The news reports, you mentioned the New York Times, January 20th. I just want to make sure CNN and MSNBC are aware of this.
They watch all the time, Mark. Nobody's watching them. Go ahead.
Wiretap data used in inquiry of Trump aides. I never said independent of news reports about the wiretap. Wiretap data used in inquiry of Trump aides. Well, didn't Mr. Clapper say there were no FISA orders issued? Can you play that tape for me so I can comment on that and pull this together?
I think we have that loaded, and because he said it on Meet the Press this weekend. But we'll get it in a second.
It's very profound.
Yeah, well, but we'll get to that in a second. Go ahead.
But let me comment on it. It's very, very important. It's very important because if Clapper says there was no FISA order, and he was very broad, and he was very definite, and he said, no, I don't remember this, and you'll play it later, then what the hell are we talking about? That means they didn't have enough information for probable cause to get a warrant in front of the FISA court.
Let's stop there. I knew Clapper was wrong. I knew there had to be a FISA warrant, just as a legal technical point. When he bumbles around, I don't remember a FISA, I don't know collusion, but it may have been collusion. Let's focus here, because it's important. It's likely there was a FISA warrant. It's likely the reports about it were correct. And why is that important? It's important because you need an administration to have that foundation to conduct these investigations, the counterintelligence investigation. Why else is it important? Because the president would have known in a matter of such import involving a campaign and involving a likely incoming administration. Go ahead.
What's the FBI, the CIA, the National Security Agency, the Justice Department, the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network investigating? What are these wiretaps that the New York Times is talking about? You know, I know they want to focus on Donald Trump and his tweet. I want to focus on America and the Constitution. The reason I got fed up with this last week is I'm a constitutional conservative. I look at this. If I'm reading these news reports, we have a runaway executive branch. I don't know who knows what. And as of today, the media don't appear to know who knows what, which is exactly why I've been calling for congressional investigations. The question is, why aren't CNN, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, and all the rest of them, why aren't they concerned about this?